So there you go, guys. It finished at Craven Cottage, Fulham 3, Newcastle United 1. Now, obviously, we've got the review coming tomorrow night, but I thought I'd do an instant reaction to the game because I think there's a lot of talking points to make ahead of the review tomorrow night, of course, after watching that dismal performance at Craven Cottage this afternoon where we just... something's not right. And I'm not going to sit here saying I want Eddie Howe out, okay? I need to make that... fact from the start of this video that I'm not wanting Eddie Howe out, not by a long shot. But he's under pressure now to get things right. This is a big test for Eddie Howe because he's got a numerous number of players who are not playing very well. And that, for me, is a big, big problem for Eddie that he has to get and sort out very, very quickly. Because whatever's going on behind the scenes, we're not privy to it. We don't know. He claims everything is okay behind the scenes. And from that performance and from the performance that we've seen most of the season, a lot of the players just aren't at the races here. And how long do you keep saying, oh, you know, some people didn't have a pre-season, they were away in the summer, things like that. How long do you keep that going on for? How long can you make that excuse? Because for me, there was no excuse for that performance today. The first half... I mean, the first 5 minutes, yes, we looked up for it again. We had a goal disallowed from Joe Linton. But as soon as Fulham went up the other end and scored, we went completely to pieces. There was nothing in that first half that gave you any impression that Newcastle United were going to come through that game and get something out of it. We then go 2-0 down. And again, the questions have to be asked of the defending. Fabian Schär had one of those games where he just seemed disinterested in the whole thing and didn't want to be there. You know, he's standing a yard off Jimenez. Jimenez is allowed to chest it down, turn, shoot in the corner. It's unforgivable defending. But then you look at the second goal and the 1-2 between Emile Smith-Rowe and Iwobi, and then it takes 4 Newcastle players out the equation, and then Nick Pope kind of just sort of, as if he knew he was already beaten. I don't know what it was, but the body language from the players is terrible. And then the third goal for Fulham, Bruno. You know, who, let's be honest, he hasn't hit the ground running this season, and I don't know what he was doing. You're taught at a very young age never to pass across your 18-yard box like that, and I don't even know who he was attempting to pass it to, because there was nobody there. And, of course, it comes to Reece Nelson, he fires it in 3-1, and that's game over. But, you know, taking the display and the performance out of it, we have to ask what is going on with certain players, because Anthony Gordon today was as bad as you'll ever see him play. And he hasn't been great this season. He really hasn't been great. And I'm not calling out players here. I'm just speaking facts of what we see on the pitch. You know, Gordon looks like he's completely disinterested, that he doesn't want to be at the football club. His body language today was as bad as you will ever see it. He did one decent thing when he went through and had that left foot shot, which Leno saved with his left foot. Apart from that, there was nothing. Absolutely nothing from Anthony Gordon. He was losing the ball. He was giving it away. There was a space of 5 minutes in the first half where he gave the ball away 4 times, which almost led to a goal from Anderson. Just not good enough. Isak looks like he's just floating away at the minute. There's so many questions. And as far as Eddie Howe can go, he can put the team out on the pitch and we can criticise the team selection all we bloody want. However, those players that go on that pitch are just not performing for him. They are not performing at all. And something is seriously, seriously wrong in this football club right now with the players' attitudes. You know, those players are a lot better than what we're seeing at the minute. Joe Linton, not at it. Bruno, not at it at all. Gordon doesn't want to be there. Isak just floating around. Fabian Schär just had one of those attitudes today. That miss in the second half proved everything to me. I don't care whether he's a centre-back or a centre-forward. He's on the 6-yard box and he's just to the right of the goal and he can't even hit the target. Come on. A professional footballer, it doesn't matter what position you're playing, should not be missing the target from there. Absolutely bull rot. So, you know, we could have got back to 2-2 then and we may not have been pushing as high for an equaliser and conceding a third goal. We could have got away with a point today. But Fulham, on the other hand, they missed some glorious opportunities. It could have been 5. The chances that they didn't put away. And that's the biggest worry for me. So when people calling for Eddie Howe's head, I'd say no, not yet. Absolutely not. I think we've got more to come from this side, but he's got to feel it under his collar now, because this is a test for Eddie Howe to come through this with his players. He says the players are fully behind him, then we need to see that on the pitch. And right now, as we sit here and do this video, we are not seeing that on the pitch. Nobody can tell me otherwise, that we are seeing anything from Newcastle United other than players with their heads down and a defeatist attitude. That was a defeatist attitude today. And I've praised the players, throughout this season for, keeping their heads above water, going behind, but managing to come back. But we cannot keep relying on wonder goals to save us. It's impossible. You cannot rely on people scoring 35-yard thunderbolts every match to get us out of trouble and pick up points. We were blissfully bad in that game today, and it's been coming. Whatever anybody thinks, yes, we've picked up great points, don't get me wrong, great points, but this has been coming all throughout the 5 games we played. It's been coming because we haven't been at the races. And today, we weren't at the races in the first half and we conceded 2 goals. And so it's even more difficult to come back. I have to question Eddie Howe taking off Kieran Trippier. I didn't understand that at all. Livramento come on and he got beat about 3 times down that left-hand side from Reece Nelson. Trippier wasn't the issue today. I'm not sure why he took him off. Why he waited for 13 minutes or 17 minutes left in the game to bring on Tonali. So I will criticise Eddie in that respect and think, well, one of our best players should not have been sat on his arse today. There was no excuse to not start Tonali today. He played the second half against Wolves last week, but why on earth was he not in the starting lineup today? Joe Linton's been badly out of form. So, he said in his press conference that it's up to the players to go on the pitch and perform and deserve to be in the starting lineup. Joe Linton hasn't done that this season. He has not played well enough to deserve a start ahead of Tonali 100%. So, he threw in a spanner, playing Willock and Joe Linton and leaving Tonali out again. That one I do not understand. But apart from those decisions, we have to start questioning the players' attitudes as well, guys. Because, we can say a lot about Eddie Howe as much as we want. But those players, we know, can play to a much higher standard than that. The effort and intensity is missing this season. Badly. Yes, we've come back in games after substitutions have been made. But those substitutes want to come on and make a difference, so they get in the starting lineup the week after. And that's been what's turned around games for us this season. But, against top teams like we play against Man City next week, if we play as badly as that, it'll be a cricket score. We know it will. There's a lot to be put right before next week's game in the Premier League. And Eddie Howe should use the Wimbledon game as a game where he needs his team to go out and absolutely batter Wimbledon to get some sort of morale back, get the confidence back amongst the team. Because something is sadly missing right now. It really is missing. And that first half is as bad as it's going to get, guys. Some of the players' body languages are as bad as it's going to get. Because I know that Bruno can play a lot better. Gordon is a lot better than what he's shown this season. Isak is a lot better. Joe Linton is a lot. There's so many players you could go through and think they can play to a much higher standard. Why are they so poor right now? And people might disagree with me sitting here and saying that. If you want to sit here and think that everything's rosy in the garden, that's fine. Yes, we've got the points on the board. No problem with that at all. But this defeat has been coming, and nobody can argue with that because we haven't played well this season. And why are so many players looking disinterested? It's completely bizarre to me. It really is bizarre. And I want to know what you guys think in the comments. Do you agree that you think something's wrong among the players? Do you think they're fully behind Eddie Howe? Or do you think Eddie Howe's just been found out with his tactics and doesn't have a plan B or C? Because something isn't right. And we as fans are always going to sort of generalise on it and talk about it and think, well, what is wrong? That's our job as fans. We're perfectly entitled to do that. So let me know in the comments what you think about today and what you think about what might be wrong. And then we'll go into it in more detail tomorrow night, of course, on the review, which will be at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. So don't miss that. But do put in your comments what you think. I just think some players' attitudes stink right now, quite frankly. Absolutely stink the house out. But let me know what you guys think. Thank you very much for watching. Give the video a like if you have enjoyed it. And, of course, subscribe if you are new to the channel. And we will see you tomorrow if you're watching this on the Saturday, of course. But we do have the review Sunday, 7 p.m. and the player ratings. So make sure you join us for that. But in the meantime, thanks, folks. And try and enjoy your Saturday night. And we'll see you soon. Take care.